Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2. This is my match reaction, and let's just get right into it. Yes, I know I'm recording this day off, but I was up for work at 5 a.m. and you know what, I'm on my break now, so let's talk about the game. Now, for me, a lot of fans are being very negative all of a sudden. I mean, we won a game, but it's still not good enough. I mean, let's just be thankful we've actually got the 3 points. Yes, we're not playing too good at the moment under Ruben Amorim. Obviously, the system for me works last night. Obviously, it was very tough to break us down, especially when we got a man sent off in Patrick Dorgu. We'll speak about him in a moment. Obviously, Onana's mistakes as well. For me, I feel like the scoreline maybe says it's a bit of a tougher game, and it gave Ipswich a bit of hope during the game to try and get a result at Old Trafford. But for me, I think a lot of players showed true character, and I think a lot of players actually stepped up and had good performances. Now, we'll do player ratings as well in this video, but let's just start off with the positive, and that is just Brickman, Harry Maguire, and the Warrior, Matthias de Ligt. For them two last night were absolutely mwah. You know, if you watch it on the channel, you'll say the chef's kiss. And I just thought that Maguire showed true leadership. He was strong. He pretty much pocketed the lap, and considering how much issues Beto caused us against Everton last week, I was terrified, because even though like the lap is quicker than Beto, he's still physical like Beto. So I thought Maguire would struggle last night, but he held his own. He was brilliant. He was strong. He scored the winning goal. Maguire was absolutely perfect for me yesterday, and yeah, I don't think he's put a foot wrong, actually, under Amorim. I don't think he's had that many bad performances. So, for me, Maguire had a great performance. And Matthias de Ligt as well received a lot of scrutiny since he's been at Manchester United. And you know what? I actually want to check how much Manchester United pay for him. I'll use the word computer quickly. How much did Manchester United pay for de Ligt? Because everyone acts like he's a massive flop signing, and I swear we only signed him for 40 million or something. Like, it wasn't a lot. Let's have a look. How much did United pay for de Ligt? Man United have agreed a deal with de Ligt worth of 50 million euros, 42.9 million. There you are, 42.9 million for de Ligt. And realistically, everyone acts like he's the flop of the season. That's also a hint, and maybe a bit of a dig at Paul Scholes, because I don't know what the actual agenda is for de Ligt, but I think he's not had been the greatest signing. You can definitely tell from the wonder kid he was all them years ago at Ajax. He was supposed to be the next best centre-back in the world, but obviously he hasn't had the massive career that people thought he'd have, but he's still not been a bad centre-back. And I think for United, his experience and quality is up there with the best in the Premier League, and he's definitely, for me, United's best centre-back when it comes to one-on-one pure defending. Like, Yoro is good at going forward. Martinez is good at being the ball carrier. Maguire is good at being at the stopper. Like, for me, you look at it and you're like, each one of our centre backs are unique and quality in their own right and have their own traits. And de Ligt is a monster. He's got that aggressive mentality. He knows he's. I just like de Ligt. I don't know how to actually describe how much I like de Ligt, but yeah, I thought the centre backs were brilliant last night, but the other man of defence in the goalkeeper, Andre Onana, he was piss poor yet again. I mean, I'm getting tired now of seeing fans compare it. Oh, we should never have sold De Gea. We should never have sold De Gea. Yeah, I understand that, and I'm pretty sure if everyone knew the outcome before an event happens and it turns out being a mistake, you'd do what you can to like make sure that mistake doesn't happen. Now, for me, Andre, like, if you want to talk about the downgrade from De Gea to Andre Onana, it's like replacing your toilet with a bucket. Like, Andre Onana, for me, is the most frustrating goalkeeper I've ever watched, because he's had brilliant moments this season and last season. He knows how to save penalties. He's saved us in a few games this season. But it's mistake after mistake after mistake. And if United don't score goals, like, for example, the Spurs game is a prime example. That was another Andre Onana mistake, in my opinion, where he palmed it to James Maddison. Like, if United can't score a goal, then, you know, and your goalkeeper keeps a clean sheet, you win 0-0, right? Well, you don't win 0-0. You get a point and it's 0-0, right? But United are struggling to score goals. We all know this. We're really struggling for the creativity. We're really struggling prolifically. And realistically, your goalkeeper's supposed to keep you in it. He's supposed to be the last man in defence, and that's why the goalkeeper is the hardest job on the pitch, in my opinion. But it's like the defence don't trust him, and it's like Patrick Dorgu, for me, yes, it's a red card, right? For me, at first, it didn't look like a red card. I think for me, it was a fair 50-50, but it's the way his studs hit above his ankle or near his shin, and you just can't argue why it's a red card. But obviously, with the way VAR works, you can't go back to a challenge and award a yellow card. It has to be either a decision overturned or a straight red, and that's why he was given a straight red. For me, I think if the referee saw it the way he did, then I think he would have awarded Dorgu a yellow and made him put him on his last one. But I think because VAR intervened, that's why Dorgu got the red card. But going back to Onana, it's like he's just an absolute just muppet. Honestly, he was box office, he was entertaining, and I just find him frustrating, and I think every single Man United fan does. I mean, for me, he's the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. Honestly, I'd rather Biende, I'd rather Tom Heaton at this point. Onana's just not good enough, and I really hope United prioritise a goalkeeper in the summer transfer window, because Onana's just not good enough to be our number one, in my opinion. But yeah, I want to talk about the midfield as well, because Ugarte and Bruno as well, just brilliant. Bruno again, Bruno was awarded the Man of the Match award, and for me, I thought it was quite deserved. He was definitely up there for a contention of Man of the Match. I thought he was absolutely everywhere. Someone showed me Bruno Fernandes's heat map, because, like I said, he was absolutely everywhere. He was playing centre back at one point, distributing long balls, because that's where the majority of United's best chances came from. Brilliant on set pieces, should have got 2 assists basically, and his delivery has become so much better on set pieces. I'm just over the moon that we can actually cross it and it not hit the first player on the corner. If you remember at the start of the season, I myself included, I was shouting for Bruno to be took off set pieces, because his set piece delivery was absolutely terrible, but he's clearly worked on it, and we're actually looking dangerous from set pieces now. Obviously, he scored the free kick against Everton last weekend, got an assist last night, and obviously the issue was a pre-assist as well for the own goal. So yeah, for me, he was absolutely brilliant, Bruno Fernandes, yet again, and he's stepping up like a true captain at the moment. And Ugarte as well, you can tell what he brings when we miss him, because that little injury he had where he was out for a couple of weeks or a couple of games, you could tell we missed him. We missed that aggressiveness, we missed that energy, and yeah, for me, Ugarte is just class. I love that warrior mentality that he brings. Like, I just absolutely love him. That South American passion and aggression that we need in midfield. I feel like sometimes we can be a bit exposed with the midfield too, but when you've got a game like that against Ipswich where it's kind of body to body, similar formation, I feel like that midfield two of Bruno and Ugarte works really, really well together, because they can be left by themselves. One can go deeper, one can go more forward, and they accommodate each other very, very well, is what I'm trying to say. And Patrick Dorgu, I'll briefly talk about him as well. Like I said, I've not spoken about the red card, but even though he got sent off, I love him. And for 20 years old and only £40 million he cost us, he's looking like a really good bargain. He's dangerous, he knows how to defend, he's good going forward. Now, first of all, talking about the goals as well, I blame Onana for both of them. Like, Onana didn't communicate with Dorgu. It was Dorgu's ball. He was chasing it, defending it really well, and passes it back to Onana. But Onana rushes out towards Dorgu. If you're rushing out, shout, I've got it, and then Dorgu will probably leave it or block off the man so you can claim it. Don't just run and then stand behind him or in front of him, and then he will pass it back to you, because you're supposed to be a distribution goalkeeper. And the second goal, where the Ipswich player crosses it in or shoots or whatever, it's like that. Like, doesn't like trying to judge where it's gonna land. Like, follow the ball. Like, De Ligt was marking Delap and he wasn't blocking your vision or anything. You had clear vision of the ball and you knew it was going far post, but you stayed in your centre and you just dived way too late. That's just another part of Onana that I find frustrating, to be honest. But no, Dorgu, I'm really liking him at the moment. Obviously, he will serve a 3-match ban, which isn't ideal, so that will go into the FA Cup as well. So let's have a quick look at United's next fixtures when my work computer isn't as slow. Man United fixtures, let's have a look. So we've got Fulham at the weekend. That's going to be a tough game. The preview will be out soon. He'll miss the Arsenal game. That's a big one. and he'll also miss Leicester City as well, so that's another tough one. He will be available against Real Sociedad in the Europa League, because obviously that doesn't deal with the Europa League and the Premier League. But yeah, Fulham in the FA Cup and Arsenal and Leicester in the league, Dorgu will miss. They're quite big games for us, because yeah, I mean, Arsenal aren't in good form at the moment, but you know, we lack that creativity, and especially off that left hand side. So yeah, for me, we will miss Dorgu, but we'll still see him against Real Sociedad. So hopefully we can progress further in the Europa League. And I'll quickly mention about the attack as well. Obviously, this is a full match reaction. I've not done like one of these like this in ages. Feel quite good about it, just having a rant in front of the work computer and the CCTV. I'm manager, but anyway, yeah, obviously frustrating with Højlund again, and Garnacho as well. Selfish. He deserved to get axed. Now, again, I'm pretty sure Ruben Amorim didn't want to take Garnacho off. That wasn't a part of his plan, but obviously just because of circumstances of Dorgu getting the red card, you had to put someone in that position, because, let's be honest, Garnacho wasn't going to do that defensive work. He wouldn't have tracked back enough. He wouldn't have got forward enough. So I really understand why Amorim took him off, and I don't think Garnacho can actually blame him, to be honest. And yeah, obviously Højlund, frustrating. Just like, there was a moment where I think it was Dalot passed the ball to him, and he opened his legs and it went right through his legs, but no one was there behind him to follow up and get the goal. It was a very clever idea, but the thing is, he can't moan about not scoring, or fans who back Højlund can't moan about him not scoring when he's not taking shots. If he was shooting on goal and he was just getting unlucky, then fair enough, you can see he's trying. But he's not even shooting at this point, and he cost us 72 million. Now, I get it, a lot of it was for development and potential that Højlund has. But right now, he's looking like a bit of a flop and a mistake type of signing, because, and this is why for me as well, Højlund would have learnt a lot under the likes of Ronaldo, would have learnt a lot under the likes of Cavani. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the experience and the mentor to show him how to do things, and he's having to battle it out with Joshua Zirkzee. And speaking of Zirkzee, I was very impressed with him last night. With Zirkzee, the difference between Zirkzee and Højlund is that I don't expect Zirkzee to be a prolific striker and get all these goals and assists. I know what Zirkzee's good at. And I was saying he was a Vegas with an afro at the start of the season, and I wasn't impressed by him, but that's because I expected it in them. But when I actually started watching him up close, especially when I go to the games at Old Trafford, I can see what he's like, and he's got that energy, he's got that engine in him. He's very technical and skillful, and he can score when he gets in them positions. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, but he's not going to get you 20 goals a season. We know this, but he only cost you 40 million as well. So if Zirkzee doesn't get a goal or an assist, and they're like, it's all right, it's not part of his game, he didn't cost us that much, I don't really care if Zirkzee scores or not. But the difference with Højlund is that he was brought in to be this next big striker. And for me, I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell Højlund this summer, but I would loan him. I would definitely loan him out. He needs to find his feet. He needs to go to a different league, or a Premier League side where he can just get that confidence and start scoring goals. But anyway, we'll do a quick player ratings as well. Onana for me gets a 4. I've already explained it in the video. Back five. Dorgu for me, I'll give him a 5. Obviously, it was unfortunate that he got sent off, but you know, he played well up until that point. Dalot, for me, I'll give a 6 to. Yoro, I'll give a 7. Maguire and De Ligt, I'll give 8s to. I've said the wing-backs, Anna. The midfield 2, I'd say Bruno and Agate, I'll give them solid 8s. I thought they were obviously contention for man of the matches. And the front line, I'll give Højlund and Garnacho both 5s, but I'll give Zirkzee a 6.5. We'll give him a 7. I thought Zirkzee was really good. He looked out on his feet towards the end of the game, but he ran his heart out, and I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of that match reaction. Let me know who your man of the match was, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.